Why don't we talk a minute about dreaming? Of course, Rotary dared to dream big and envision a day when not one person would have to suffer polio again. And look at where we are. We're that close to having it done, thanks to you. Praise God. Now I get to share a dream with you, and that is to change the nightmare of childhood without books to a dream for all children to love books, to love reading, and to love learning.
The Imagination Library is actually, I think, one of the best programs for children that there is. I actually started this in honor of my father and many of my relatives that didn't get a chance to get an education, that had trouble reading or writing.
I really want to help children see their dreams come true and to be passionate about learning and about reading, and that's why we have our program.
These books not only impress them, they're in their name, they come in the mailbox, and it makes them feel important very early on, and it's their book, so they take it to someone to make them read it because it's something they feel, ownership with. I don't remember learning to read, so my mother, I'm sure, must have taught me that early on. One of the first little books that I loved, and I think all children need to read, and it is the first book in my Imagination Library, is called The Little Engine That Could. And that one I remember really made a big impression on me, that you can do it if you think you can. And I always like to say there's some truth in that, because I am a little engine that did.
I was not the best student in school. I actually didn't particularly like school. That's because of several reasons, really. I was from a big old family, a poor family, and of course, I wasn't comfortable with the clothes I wore, and I didn't get a lot of the opportunities as a lot of kids did, and all the excuses that we make.
We were poor people, but we were proud people. And we were rich in things that money don't buy anyway. Things like love and kindness and understanding and acceptance. And we had a great foundation in the spiritual realm. My mother was very much oriented in believing that all things could happen, and that's what got us through.
But above all, I had my heads in the clouds dreaming about going to Nashville to be a star. But I did learn to read early, and I love to read. I still love to read.
Now I've taken to going back to reading a lot of the old classics that I didn't get to read many years ago. And so I've been reading Jane Austen. I've read all of the books that she's had, and so I'm going back to really read a lot of those wonderful things.
You never really know, John, when you have a dream, how it's going to turn out. You just hope that your dream will come true, and so many of mine have come true. But when we started this, as I think I mentioned, I started it in honor of my dad in my home county, back in Sevier County, and it was just for the children in our area. And then it caught on, and this very year was when we gave away our 25 millionth book. So 25 million books, and we're working almost now toward the 26 million. So with Rotary's help and everybody helping out, we're just going to roll along, and we'll just put all kinds of books in the hands of children.
What better than to enrich the lives of children? So that's how we chose this, and the more it grows, the more excited I get, and the more I feel like that we are really doing something worthwhile and getting children in their early years to learn to read.
So spread your wings.